Good morning, good morning. Welcome to today's ad-free live stream. My name's Tyler. Glad that you're deciding to join us this morning. Today we're going to be going over live price action. We're going to be sharing today's daily trading bias and giving you a front row seat to all of the action. No fluff, just the good stuff. If you're here after the fact, you can use the chapter markers below the video and you can jump to the key points in the videos where I've taken the trades and an explanation of the trades that I've taken and what I was thinking so you can learn from them. Lastly, we do have a discount code DTJ for Apex, 80% off their eval accounts. That's $29 for a 25K account and $33 for a 50K account and $85 to get a lifetime funded account once you pass those evals. So you can use the code DTJ for that. And then today is the last day for the sign up for those that joined the wait list for dtjacademy.com. If you are interested in that, you could also check that out over there as well. Other than that, let's go ahead, open in prayer, and let's rock and roll. Norway, Northern. I didn't realize you were in Norway. That's crazy. That's awesome. All right, so Father, we honor you today. As a Friday, Father, we choose to be patient and not aggressive. We receive what you have for us in the market today. Lord, we honor you with our trading. Father, we just pray that your name would be glorified in everything that we do. Father, when people see us, when they see the success, they see Christ in us. Father, may your name be glorified. May everyone here that's participating be blessed. May the work of their hands bear fruit. In Jesus' name, amen. Okay, folks, let's rock and roll. We're going to have a good day this morning. I already have all my levels put on here from this morning. I had to start a little bit later today because there was an accident right on the road in front of our neighborhood. And I got stuck in that when I was running to the store to get peanut butter for my wife. Yeah. So we had some issues with logistics. Good morning, Carmen, Ted, Eva, Northern, Tony. Glad to have you guys this morning. Super pumped you're here. We are going to we're going to talk about a couple different things. I touched on my account my payouts being denied. We're going to dive a little more into that, and I'm going to give some detailed explanation to help people how to make sure that doesn't happen for them. I ran a bunch of different scenarios and numbers, and we're going to go over that. We got these relatively equal lows sitting right here. We got London highs sitting above us. We have equal lows below us. We have a 15-minute and a 5-minute fair value gap. The 15-minute has not been touched yet. We have our previous day low, our previous day high, and a 4-hour fair value gap sitting above us. Those are the levels. When we look at a higher time frame from a daily perspective, I know what I want. I mentioned it in the Discord. I want to see price flush lower. When we look in context to this market maker sell model, I want to see it flush. Now, we just can't assume that's going to happen. I need confirmation. And honestly, I would like London highs to be tagged and then a move lower. Here, there's equal lows that are just swept right there. That's really nice. And it changing directions. So I'm going to look at London highs as a potential target, short term. We'll look at that. We have our opening range gap. We're sitting right here. It's not finalized until we have our opening price. So wherever opening price is, that's where our opening range gap will be. And we'll put those on the charts. We have on a bigger scale, we have this daily fair value gap and volume imbalance sitting down here. That's really interesting to me considering we just tagged this volume imbalance and daily fair value gap, treating it, and I want to look at it treating it like an inversion. I would like this to be treated like an inversion where we just push lower once again. Ali, good morning. So that's kind of my overall higher time frame analysis. We really need to see what price wants to do here this morning and adjust accordingly. I'm going to be looking at I made some slight modifications on the 930 model that I shared in the Discord. We'll be taking that this morning. And then we'll be looking for, we're going to wait till 9:45. We have PPI, I believe. We have Flash. Yeah, PMI. We have Flash Manufacturing PMI at 9:45. So more than likely, we're going to wait for that. Outside of the 930 model that we're going to take. I'll share that with you guys here this morning. I'll show you the executions on it. We got price opening here in 49 seconds. $30 seconds. $930 MNQ. I think I have everything set up.
Order submitted.
All right, so looks like it executed nicely. And the 10 handle would have also been executed. Let's jump over here, look at the screen. We got our opening range gap and 930. We're going to be pushing right up to this London high most likely. Not gonna lie, this 930 is, they're not huge numbers, but I mean, I could be done for the day. I really could, and just be happy with what I got. Always is. Tony, if you're talking about the 930 model, it usually is. I'm not in the trade very long. I want the London high to be hit. And so if we haven't and we're not hitting the London high, I'm not going to take a trade till after 9:45. We're going to wait for the manufacturing PMI to take place to drop. Good morning, Pete. No, all the rules that I have are inside the academy. I share all the rules, stop loss rules, entry rules, exit rules, target profits, all of that in there. Right now, because I've shared it inside the academy and those that signed up, I want to respect those that have signed up to actually see that for right now. It will be something I'll share in the future. I just don't know when. But I will tell you that if you're interested in signing up, that one trade that I took would have paid for it. Here. You guys want to see it? Yeah, that's not going to make any sense what you're seeing right there. But that was that one trade right here. In one trade, in that trade that I just took, I made $600. $600 right off the open. So that paid for the course well over multiple times. So, and we won yesterday. We had a losing day the day before, and then before that, it was 7 days in a row where it won. 7 days in a row that it won. So I mean, you're not going to become rich off of it, but for those that want education and they want to learn how to trade, this kind of scratches that itch on committing to the education, but also at the same time having a model and a system that's profitable without there. I mean, there's no questions. The rules are extremely clear. There's no guesswork. It's in, out, done, and it has right now over an 80% win rate. So if you're interested in that, here, I'll just do it. You can check it out. You can check out dtjacademy.com, which will give you access to the Discord as well. What's up, Viking? How you doing, my friend? We're waiting for manufacturing PMI to come out. London highs right here. I'm waiting for that to be swept. We do have our first fair value gap. Interesting. No, do we? Yes, we do. Make sure that's not 930. Yeah, good. There we go. That's our first fair value gap. To be honest, I like the news at 9:45 because I can sit here, know I'm not going, and plan on not taking a trade and just kind of relax. Which trade are you talking about, Viking? Are you talking about the one that I just took? On the 930 model? I took that trade on screen. As far as the entry rules and exit rules, I have people signed up that wanted access to that, so I cannot share that right now. So it is a part of the Trader Academy, the Purpose-Driven Trader Academy, and the Discord. It's all in there. And that trade alone was $600 total is what I made on that. And that would have paid for the Discord. That would have paid for the course as well as the Discord that's attached to it. So if you want that, I dropped that link in there. All right, so we hit these equal lows, but look how we hit the equal lows. We're going to come back down and meet these again. So I could literally just move this equal low down here now because we just created a new equal low sitting right there. London high is now tagged. If we get a close below this first fair value gap, I will be interested in taking that down to these equal lows. I will close the trade if we close above that. Yeah, I understand that it hit 930 open. Stops at break even. We came really close to this wick. If technically stops not at break even until we hit that wick, but I'm going ahead and drop it since we are before news. See if we can get a little bit of a push here. All right, so no close. And that stopped me out at break even. I'm not going to let that, once it comes back down to this level, I'm not going to let that run against me. So that's why I closed it. Nice aggressive right there, bouncing off 930 and the new week opening gap, new day opening gap right here. So good call, Tony. I think that's important to note that even though we closed below this, the first inversion fair value gap, we did run into 930 and the new day opening gap, and it's just something you really want to keep track of. So that's the reason why I put it to back to break even. Is we came back down here and rejected again. I'm going to move my stop to break even because the odds are not in my favor if it's bouncing back up a second time. All right, let's see what we could reach for above us. We got previous day high sitting right here. So if we're rejecting this and we're bouncing off 930, if we are able to get through this London high, the odds are we potentially push for the previous day high. Yeah, Ted, I like the idea of the equal lows that are down below us. We also have lower equal lows that are sitting over here. We have equal lows over here too. So there's definitely motive and reason to move lower, and that's kind of what I'm looking for. Now, if we hit the previous day high first, well then that's what it is. But I like playing to the downside, personally, right now. Got 3 minutes till manufacturing PMI. So we're going to sit out no matter what it does here. I'm going to sit out for the remainder of it. ES has already hit its previous day high, and it reached into its, so previous day high has already been hit on ES. Here's previous day right there, and we just ran it just a second ago. Right in that push, we just hit it. So want to take note of what do we do at this point. Now that it's ran its previous day high, how does ES respond or NQ respond? Because NQ's previous day high is up there. Way to go, nice job. 20 handles, man. If you did it on any decent size, 5 micros to 10 micros, I would be done for the day. It's Friday, and to me, there's more value than ending green than there is trying to get more. I was really hoping this inversion was going to play out, because if it played out, I'd be done for the day. All right, 10 seconds. Let's see how this reacts here. Do we find support? If we find support, that could be a push higher. Way to go, Northern. Kind of a dud reaction on news right there. But the only thing that I saw was very significant is how we landed on that London high. Yeah, it's nice little sweep and tag of that London high on the 30-second right here. That looks pretty nice. Yeah, ES looks like it's pushing higher. I don't know what it's going to target, though. There's nothing up there. I mean, it's too far away. I just don't know what it's targeting. Yeah, I don't see ES going much higher, to be honest. This is what I'm looking at. I mean, where is it going? It's either going for this liquidity or it's going to find resistance right where it's at. We have this mitigation block. We also have this breaker sitting right here. So breaker, it's hitting that breaker. So I'm kind of looking. I'm interested in downside plays, folks. I'm interested in price moving lower. Now, we just need to find the right time. Time is the next factor in this whole thing. Is when is the right time to move lower? And that's what we're kind of waiting on. Is the London high our key liquidity point, or is previous day high our key liquidity point? Especially with ES already tagging its previous day high and coming into resistance. I don't know. All right, that's a nice strong closed candle higher. Now look how these order blocks, that order block was respected on the 1 minute. Let's see if this order block is now respected. Why am I choosing the bodies here? Because it just makes sense to me. But it looks like it wants to it's disrespecting that one right now. So what this is telling me is that this pair of down close candles aren't significant. This is more significant. That's significant, and then the London high is significant, considering how it's reacted to this order block. So now that we see this order block being disrespected, meaning it ran through the mean threshold, I'm not going to really consider this or look at this. This could be consolidation or price could be reversing. That's kind of what I'm looking at to see how price is reacting to these levels. Ted, you could be right, but whatever it is, we're waiting for displacement. And I personally want to play to the downside. What does a 2 minute look like here? Oh, we got a nice fair value gap on the 2 minute. All right, that's pretty significant there, folks. Let's see how it closes. 1 minute. 1 minute closed nicely. It did not close below that fair value gap or this inversion right here. So we have to wait. Or I'm waiting at least. Still looking at this London high to see how it reacts to that level. I would like a fair value gap placed right in here. I do not want it to close. Ouch, caught that fall. Like in a good way or a bad way, Northern? Like, did you took it yourself to the downside? Great way. That's what I like to hear. There we go. All right, I'm going to take that. We close beneath that again. That's the close that I was looking at. Break even will be at 930 price. Once we hit 930, I'll be moving my stop to break even. Stop's now at break even. I'm sorry, there's a screen there. Let's see if we can get a push. Come on, let's go lower. Nah, dang it. I wanted that right there. I did call it. Eva, I did say that I'm taking that. And when I said it, I called it. I just didn't flip it over to the screen right away. So I took the short on this inversion. Technically, my rule is price needs to move here, but I did it based on 930. So 930 price was right here. So when it tapped 930 price, or came really close to it, it hit it on the Nasdaq or on the mini charts. I moved my stop to break even when it came right to this level. Because it already respected it once. So assuming we weren't able to get down to this, because that's really, I was going to take my first profit. It didn't get down there. It bounced off 930 again. Could you call the price when you place the price? What do you mean call the price? Mean what point I'm getting in? So like 20,800? Way to go, Northern. That's what I like to hear. So the only thing I'll say on that, Eva, is that's a little much for me to call out price already. Here's what I'll say is your charts should mimic my chart. And the way to make sure your chart is identical to mine is that you have ETH set and you have UTC5 on TradingView. If you have UTC5, you'll be able to see the exact same thing I'm seeing, and it'll be the exact same numbers. All right, we have a break. Let's see, do we have... it came through the breaker already. Let's see how it reacts to this London high. We're coming into that fair value gap for the first time. I want to see this respected. At this point, all the inversions have been violated and failed. Here's the first fair value gap again. We tagged the midpoint of that first fair value gap. I'm watching this. If it breaks through it, that could be a long. I don't like how we did not sweep the lows, so it's not an A plus inversion. I really want to see it fail or I really want to see this fair value gap not closed above. I want to see price find resistance here and move lower. But we also have previous day high sitting right there that we could be pushing for. Yeah. Yeah, Northern, do you use Ninja Trader? If you do, and you know kind of some of the settings, can you share those? Or if anybody can, because I don't use Ninja Trader. I do use Trade-of-8, but Trade-of-8's also a little bit different. I can see. I think I mentioned I said I was going to see if I could move this. All right, let me. No, there it is. Okay. All right, is that better? Can you guys see the price better? All right, so that inversion or this fair value gap did not find resistant. It went through that, and it's now sitting above it. There is another fair value gap on the 30-second that we should make sure we know about sitting right here. So now I'm watching this to see what happens. Okay, so that looks better, I think. You guys should be able to see the numbers on my chart there. And actually, I'll do one more thing. I'll make them even larger. So now they are sitting at, it's just bigger, so you should be able to see that a little bit more. All right, nice reaction here from this 30-second. This is a model 2022, ICT's model 2022. If it plays out, I should say. You're welcome, Eva. $9.30 is really what's holding price right here. And that's kind of what we're watching for break of. What does the 2-minute look like? 3-minute. All right, so the 3-minute has the fair value gap. The 3-minute has the fair value gap. So right here, this fair value gap, including that volume imbalance, has not broken. That, I think, I like to find the fair value gap that's usually holding up price, and so I'll go up in time frames to find out which one it is. All right, so the opening range gap, I'm just going to move that out of the way. Midnight open, we can pull this over. I wouldn't be taking this as an inversion because this is the 30-second that's holding down price. So you're basically saying if I close above this, we are running above this, but that's not the case because we could still find resistance at this 30-second. So this 30-second is the close above this 30-second is the obvious long to this high. That 30-second has a higher probability of working. $15-minute looks very bullish. The 1 hour looks bullish. And the 4 hour, which we just closed, that doesn't tell me as big of a story, the 4 hour. Because the 3-minute is it's a bigger time frame for price to move, it could run these lows before the 3-minute closes. So just keep that in mind. We have an inversion here on the 3-minute. We probably have one on the 1-minute too. There's an inversion on the 30-second right here, and that just closed. But we have the first fair value gap and this 3-minute that's still holding up price. So that's kind of why we're watching that level. This is the trade that I'm interested in. Roughly about that. Now, because of this push lower, there's not really any fair value or there's not any swing lows here that are really significant that we could really place our stop to break even, because this is just so close to our entry point that it's really hard to want to use that. Okay, the 3-minute did not close. I'm back down to the 1-minute. What happened to my, oh, there it is. Back down to the 1-minute time frame. Price doesn't look horrible, but we are in consolidation. I mean, we're not going higher. We're staying in the range. Makes sense, Northern. Yeah, I'm looking at this as like our manipulation, like consolidation or accumulation, manipulation, distribution lower. That's what I want to see. We have a 5-minute change in state of delivery right here. Interesting to see. But still the 15-minute is not as bullish. All right, 3 minutes still closed above. I don't know if we're going to be able to get that 3-minute. I don't think there's anything else that's given us an opportunity. What does a 4-minute look like? No. 1 minute. It could flush without us. That's what I'm concerned about. Well, it's not being very nice today. We still got 1 more minute left on that 3-minute candle. Five-minute close in 3 minutes. All right, so we have a breaker at 9:30. 9:30 is a breaker. We have a high, low, higher, high in regards to the bodies. I'm disregarding the wicks. Three-minute did close very aggressively lower, just too low for us to not be able to take it. Got a fair value gap. We got here. Oh, that's nice. I think I'm interested in this level here. We did find if we reject this 15-minute and 5-minute, this makes this level to the downside a little less attractive. Doesn't mean it's impossible, but see you, Ted. I want to see this level respected and then maybe an inversion to the downside. I do not want to take it on the first exposure because we did run a lot of liquidity equal lows that if it wants to go back up to the previous day high, it really could. We did just tag it. You bet, man. Thanks for being here. So if I went short right here, my concern is I missed my opportunity up here. So looking back, I'm like, oh, crap. Why didn't I take that risk and have a lower risk to reward? Now if I go short here, I have a much greater risk of it pushing back up compared to taking that short here and I could have got 20 handles out of it. So right now I'm considering my risk to reward. This is higher risk. This was lower risk. But I just talked myself out of it. Yeah, because that was a beautiful, that would have been a nice entry, to be honest. See if he gives us another opportunity. This would have been from the 32nd of 2022 model. I don't take those though, for the most part. We're outside of the macro time. With it being a Friday, I'm going to be careful on the trades that I take before 10:45. Hang on, folks. I got to answer this. So the 5 minute, there's a 5 minute fair value gap right here, overlapping with this 1 minute. I think that's what I want to see happen, is price come back up into this 1 minute fair value gap, which also is at the same point the 5 minute fair value gap is. There's an inversion right here. It didn't run liquidity, low probability, lower probability. Not as interested in it. We also have equal highs right here. So I want to see these equal highs ran into that 5 minute and then potentially move lower. I'm finding out what my risk is going to be, depending on where I'd put it. I like this order block right here. Would love that order block to be there. That would just make my risk 20 handles about. And then you would target that low, 45 handles. It's looking heavy here, folks. I'm still waiting for the entry up here. This 30-second right here, if it closed in one and this on this route in this one pass in 10 seconds, that would be interesting. I'd be interested potentially in taking that. All right, so no. No entry. Just I'm looking at how aggressive it went lower and how aggressive it comes back up. Is coming back up. Yeah, that looks nice. It did look very nice to take. Main reason why I was interested in that was how aggressive that candle turned around. Probably going to hit this 930 price, reach up into here. Let's see if it tags down here. She should see it just push right up into this high, those equal highs. Made another equal high and another equal high. If it reaches down into this fair value gap and rejects it and has a quick wick back up, I'll look at that, playing that into these equal highs. But if it pierces it right now, then I won't take it. Watching that. I'm taking that long, real quick long, into those highs. I'm not switching over because my finger is on the exit button, because this is a quick trade when it pushes right through it. Oh, come on. Okay, I got a second there. Not liking this. I'm gonna close the trade here. Looking for price to come up into these equal highs. That's really what I was looking for. Close that trade. It didn't violate this fair value gap, which that's what I was wanting it to do. Well, let me rephrase that. That was the reason why I was going to get out, was the violation of that. It didn't violate, but it's close enough for me to take it. That sucks. It's not very often you see this and it doesn't get tagged. So when we came back down here and we were aggressively moving up, I'll take that for a quick 10 handles. I'm just surprised it did not grab it. It really sucked. I mean, it's hard for me when to go short when you have those triple equal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 touches to those highs. $15-minute close below its level here. 5-minute close below. We have equal lows down here. A 15-minute SIBI down here. I'm not going to go short until we grab these levels up here. Be right back, folks. Use the restroom. I don't do anything with VWAP either, Tony. That trade that I did take, though, I will say it was a pure momentum trade. Let me rephrase that. It was a pure, this has to be ran type trade, and it just didn't do it. Wilhelm, good morning. How you doing? I'm not opposed to going long, guys. To be honest, I'm really not. I think there's opportunity towards the previous day high. Mm-mm. I'm going to be talking about some of these rules here in a little bit. Now, one little 5-minute right there. That's what I'm looking at. I guess the 1 minute's better. I got the 2-minute here and the 1 minute both have an inversion to the upside. 2-minute looks better. So I would like the 2-minute and the 1 minute to overlap. So if it closed above it right now, that means the 2 minutes also closing to run to those equal highs. I'm gonna take this. Oh, it did not close. Son of a gun. We're gonna have to get out. Let's see if it goes. Gonna be quick to moving my stop to break even. I have not sold it. I'm watching to see how we react to that level. Manually going to exit if I have to. I'm going to see if we want to push higher through this. I'm going to sell 2 contracts there. See if we can get up to this high right here. Sell 2 more there. Not good. Let's see if we can get a push here, or I'll manually sell that. I'm going to manually sell that. I have 1 contract left. This is the point. I mean, it could completely reverse. So that's kind of what I'm watching for, because I do see the option for lower prices. But I want to see if it wants to push any higher. And run for previous day highs. We do have a breaker right here. It's so close to my stop loss, I don't know if I want to let it go past that level. Okay, there's the push higher. Now we're inside of a mitigation block. Mitigation block sitting right there. We want to see it push through that level. Running for liquidity up here. That's really what I would like to see. And then potentially reaching for the previous day highs. Previous day high is sitting right here. That's previous day high. We also have this 30-second fair value gap that we found resistance in before, sitting right here. I'm going to close this trade if it violates that order block. That will be my line in the sand. Oh, there's a nice push. Good reaction. That's the high inside the range currently. Let's see if it wants to actually get up there. We're up 300 ticks. I don't even know what the math is on that. Up 75 handles. Let's see if we can get through this level. And I think I'm going to sell it at that point for 75 handles if we can get there. I expect some type of retracement after we hit that level. Or we could just blow right through it. So maybe I'll do it as a manual close. I'm going to close it there. This was PA, Boston yen. Boston, yeah. That was a performance accounts trade on 5 different accounts. That one trade recovered my loss and put me positive on all my accounts. Just so you guys can see it if you'd like. I normally don't do this, but I'll do it here today. There's my... That's what I'm up today, total P&L right there. That was from only 5 micros, sold most of my micros, and then had 1 micro runner for 75 handles. Okay. Oh yeah, it was. On the 2-minute, 100% valid. I took it off the 2-minute trade. Oh, well, no, it wasn't. You're right. It did close slightly below. So this was the trade idea, and it did not close. You're right. That was the kindness of the Lord right there. Okay, I want to take a couple minutes. I want to talk about a topic on evals or on Apex. And if you guys were here the other day, I mentioned that I had a here. Let me do this. Okay. We're going to, let's just go all on that so I can see it here. It's somewhere here. Where is it? Let me get this set up here. Okay, so hey folks, today we're going to be talking about Apex. If just a couple days ago, I took out a payout on 5 of my performance accounts, and 2 of them passed, but 3 of them did not pass. They were denied, and they were denied based on whims like gambling, whimsical gambling trading, I believe was the words they used. And so I went ahead and I dug a little bit deeper. I wanted to get the exact rules. I wanted to share with you what you need to do to make sure you can make sure your trades aren't denied, what you need to look for, and how we're going to do that. So there was a couple of rules that they talked about. I went back through, I knew the rules, but I really wanted to figure out, okay, can I know before I start trading what I need to be aware of so that I don't get a denial when I request a payout? And the answer is yes, there is. And we're going to be talking about that today. So like I said, 3 of my accounts were denied, and these are the 4 rules that we really need to be aware of when we are trading. And you're going to need to know a couple things. You're going to need to know your rules. You're also going to need to know your starting balances for the day. We're going to get into that here in a second. But here's what we're looking at. We have these 4 rules that we really need to understand. We have the 30% drawdown of unrealized funds. We have a 1 to 5 rule, which is an average for your account. We have a 30% one-day gains rule. And then we have an 8-day waiting period, which makes sense. But we're going to go through these one by one. So we need to, when you're looking at all of these rules, there is one other thing you need to know, and that is your starting You need to know your starting P&L for your account. So in this case, we're going to use one of my starting balances, which was $50,365. That's what one of 50,000. No, it was 53,000. We're going to use one of my starting balances here. It was 53,365. Okay, and this is significant because we're going to use not the 50K, but the 3,000 mark. So my P&L, or what my profit was in this account, was $3,365. Why? Because when you get a performance account, if you have a 50K performance account, it starts out at $50,000. That means we're dealing with a $3,000, roughly $3,000 balance. Now, when you are trading, you have to make sure that you know what your starting balance is. In this case, what did we say? It was 3,000. Oops. It was $3,000. So 3,365. So that number right there is what you need to know. When we are looking at our 30% drawdown rule, this means that we cannot have your drawdown go below 30% of your starting balance. That would be roughly, I'm going to do the math here. Oops. In this case, 30% of your 3,365, that number is $1,009. That is what that number is. That means when you are trading, you cannot allow unrealized drawdown to go below $1,009. That's unrealized. That means if price, for example, if we went long like we did here, we went long right here. If we did a contract, if our stop loss was going to be at this low, which we would never do that. But if price came all the way down here on one contract, but then came back all the way up here, you would have a winner. However, your drawdown was $50. Let's just say 50 handles. It was, let's just say it came all the way down there, but it didn't stop us out because we were below the swing low. Well, if you did one mini contract, 50 handles is $1,000. So if you went 51 handles in drawdown, that would have been over that $1,009 limit based on your starting balance. You would now, if you requested a payout because you got this nice huge win, you would be denied. Okay, that's rule number 1. Let's go to rule number 2. That is the 1 to 5 rule, which is an average based on all your accounts. This is basically saying that if your average profit is 10 handles, they do not want you to have drawdown of 50 handles. It has to be underneath this level. So if they'll take your average profits or your average handles gained, and if it's 10 handles, your number is going to be, it cannot go below 50 handles. So it's the 1 to 5 rule. If you have one profit or 1 to 5 rule, meaning 10 to 50, 20 to 100, whatever that number is. Now, these two rules, the 30% drawdown and the 1 to 5 rule, work together. They work together. You may not have reached your $1,000 limit because you went with only 5 micros, which would have given you a $100 or a 100-point drawdown, right? You would have gotten, here's a 100-point drawdown with 5 micros. That still, this right there would have been a $1,000 loss. But you would be violating your 1 to 5 rule. So they work in conjunction with each other, that your 1 to 5 rule would still be, no matter how many contracts you use, would still be right here at 50 handles. So if you violate the 30% drawdown rule, or don't violate it but it goes really low, you're still violating your 1 to 5 rule, which is an average. Okay? So they work in conjunction with each other, and the way you know what those levels are is, one, for the 1 to 5 rule, is you know what your average profit is. You should never allow a trade to go 1 to 5. Ever, ever, ever. It shouldn't be possible for you to do that. It makes zero sense for, in a risk management point of view, for you to do that. You should never allow your trade to do this. Go with 5 micros, go 100 points down, still within your 30% drawdown. Meaning, what I'm trying to say is here that these rules, people think they're negative and they hurt their odds on getting payouts. But the truth is, we should never allow this to happen. Now, the only way that you are going to hit your 30% drawdown a lot quicker is if you oversize. So if I went with 5 contracts right here and I only went 10 handles, if I had 5 contracts right here, and if I did 5 mini contracts and I was going long towards these highs, okay, let's just say I went long here again, okay? If I'm going 5 mini contracts and I wick below this 10 handle stop loss, but it doesn't close, well, guess what? I violate my $1,000 30% drawdown based on my $3,300 starting balance because I oversized. And this is where a majority of the mistakes are made for traders. The fact of the matter is they're oversizing. And the reason my payouts were denied is because I did just that. They were winners. The market was beautiful. My trades, I got my profit up really quickly, but I was oversized and my drawdown went below that 30% or hit that 30% drawdown limit because I was oversized. I didn't hit the 1 to 5 rule average. I hit the 30% drawdown. So you just got to be careful and know before you actually start your trading day what your P&L is, what's your starting balance. Now, if you're not beyond your payout level, that level is what your drawdown limit is. So on a 50K account, it's $2,500. 30% of $2,500 is roughly $750. So you don't want your drawdown to go below $700. $2,500 on that. If you're on a 25K account with $1,500, well, you don't want it to go below $500. That is a 30% drawdown limit when you're starting out on your performance accounts. Now, this does not affect your eval account. Eval accounts do not reflect these two rules. They just care about you passing your eval account. These are for your performance accounts, performance account rules. It's very important that you understand that, okay? Now, the two other rules are this, and this is important for you to know. The 30% in one day, meaning if your starting balance is $3,365, you do not want to make more than $1,009 in that account in one day, because they'll see that as, is that consistent? They don't know if that's you consistently trading that way. So you want to keep this under $1,000. It's very important on your first 6 trades that you do that. First 6 payouts, that you do this, because after your 6th payout, I believe the 30% in one day goes away, and your 30% drawdown goes away after you've doubled your account balance. So once I hit $5,500 and my starting balance is over $5,500, over $5,000, my 30% drawdown is now 50% drawdown. They'll increase it, which you should never hit 50% drawdown. Now, this is the suckiest part right here, is rule number 4, is if you request a payout and it's denied, you have to wait 8 trading days for you to ask again. You need to trade 8 more days. You need to make sure you are profitable $50 5 of those days, and then you can request another payout. That's the rules. So to be honest, the safest answer is to avoid hitting your 30% drawdown, avoid hitting your 1 to 5 average rule, and stay under your 30% in one day. If you do that, after 8 trading days, you can request a payout on your performance accounts, and you will not have any issue. These are hard levels, hard rules, except for the 1 to 5. It's an average based on all of your accounts. So if you go down, let's just say below 50% for one of your trades, but all your other trades, your risk to reward was very good, it's not going to hurt you. It's going to be an average based on that 8-day trading period, okay? So those are the rules there. I just wanted to give a quick overview. There's been a lot of videos explaining these rules, but haven't seen a video that's going into the details on how to avoid that with actual real numbers. So that's going to be it for this video, and we'll see you in the next one. Take care. Yes, that's exactly what I did. I just made myself a video while on a live stream. But I wanted to make sure you guys really understood that, because now part of my morning routine is finding out what my starting balances are, just so I know. You need to know these levels so that you don't actually violate them. It looks like that my sell that I took was a good sell. It started pushing lower. It didn't get through the 30-second, and even didn't even run these highs. It looks as if it's creating this low resistance liquidity for later today. Well, I don't know when it's going to hit, but right there. No fair value gaps except for this 30-second. But we're going to call that a day, folks, because to be honest, we're up on the day. Beautiful trading day. I'll be on here for a little bit more, answer any questions you guys have, and kind of just watch the chart, do some price reading. LJ had a negative week. Tough times. I understand. I really do. I really do. So the question though, LJ, is can you identify what the issue was? If you can identify what the issue was, you're in a position to succeed. That would be my question. That's a great question, Ahead TV. Ahead TV, yeah, I think that's right. We'll call you Ahead. So the answer is, I made a whole video on this. I'll drop the link in here, but I'll explain it. You can watch it later if you want. It's called How to Be Profitable Even When You Have Less Than a 50% Win Rate. And I'm going to actually drop that link. So give me a second, then I'll answer. I'll give you a full answer. Everything's super slow. Okay, I dropped that link in there for you to check out. So the answer is I love break even. I took 2 break even trades today. Break even has saved me so many times. Even in this trade right here. I don't know if you saw me take this trade. This trade was not a valid trade. But I went long on this trade right here, assuming that it was going to break this fair value gap on this momentum, and just at the last second, it wicked below it, right? So my target was these equal highs at first, 20 handles. But as soon as we started moving higher, I immediately moved my stop to break even, realizing that I didn't get in on a valid trade, and I wanted to protect myself. And if it would have stopped out and hit my stop loss and then run, I would have made nothing. Okay? I didn't even take profits on this one because after I saw how aggressive this was, my next thought is, man, we could go for these highs. So I held for that move. But I am a big fan of moving my stop to break even. I'm also a big fan of if you're using enough contracts to always take profit. Always take profit when you hit liquidity. Always take profit when you hit liquidity levels. This could just as easily have done one of these things. Boom, boom. And quite frankly, there were several trades in here that price was aggressive. Here was one, I believe I took this one here. We closed below this inversion on the 1 minute, and I went short, and it didn't actually fill me. It didn't hit my liquidity level. And so I got stopped back at break even because I moved my stop to break even so that when it went against me, it didn't hurt me. Break even will save you many, many, many times. Now, you may have to take more trades because some moves that you want to take get stopped out and they actually run in your favor. But taking early profit also will help in that. Just like Tony's saying right here, I'm a big fan too on break even and taking early profit. You just have to be comfortable with taking that profit and understanding that that's your model. That's how you are choosing to trade. And if it runs for another 40 handles with one micro contract, hey, I take that as extra cash in my pocket that I wouldn't have had. But I'm also trading in a way that makes me feel comfortable so I don't go negative, which is, in my opinion, very important. Break even also just gives you the opportunity to sit back risk-free and not worry about what happens with the trade, right? That's huge. It takes the stress out of your trading to then just sit and let price play out. And if it goes back at break even, guess what? You are not at a loss. Maybe you're at a loss by $3 for the commission. If that's the case, move your stop just 2 or 3 handles above your break even so it covers your commission. That way, literally, there's no reason to be concerned about anything. So I'm a huge fan of that. I highly recommend it. And I talk a lot about that in my channel, in my live streams, all of those things. I talk about it in the Purpose Driven Academy as well. How to do that. We go over details and explanations on all of those. This is our 5-minute chart here. Here's our first fair value gap. Still, see how that reacts to that level and this 5-minute fair value gap sitting right here. Let's change that to a 5-minute. Let's see if it's going to respect this inversion. So we got this inversion right here that we closed above. Price now hit it for the first time. It wouldn't surprise me if we now run for these highs. So I'm assuming that today's a single break day. For those that don't know what I'm referring to, a single break day is when we run either the previous day high or the previous day low, single. So this level here or this level here. There's roughly a 77% chance we run one of these levels. Okay? So for another example here is many traders on the chat, and also I saw on X, were expecting or were planning on a double break day, meaning it ran this previous day high here, and they were looking for price to run this low over here. And while it ran towards it and we took trades moving in this direction, I just couldn't plan on it actually running this low. My biggest trade for yesterday was on the rejection of this level here. And we played, I think, 100 tick. No, it was another 75 handle move higher. So we got 75 handles moving away because I just didn't think we were going to run this previous day low. And I was looking for the opportunity to go long. We did, and I passed an eval account in one trade. It was a 25K eval account, and I passed it yesterday in one trade. Planning on it not hitting this level because it's only a 12-13% chance it's going to run the high and the low. So so we have single break days where we run just one. We have double break days like this day right here. We ran this high and this low. And then we have fake break days. Fake break days where it acts as if it's going to run the high and the low, but it doesn't get either of them. So I'm bringing all that up to say, while I want to see price move higher above here, it may not. It may not run this previous day high, and it could be a fake break day. It's 11% chance, 10 to 11% chance that it doesn't run this high, but there's higher odds that it does run this high. So, or we could just lose our support and run all the way down here. Is that level? Yeah. This seems less likely than running this one. However, it's very possible for us to just fall out because we're in a market maker sell model, in my opinion. We're on a higher time frame market maker sell model. Here's the market maker sell model, in my opinion. Buy side and sell side, we have our bounce here, and then I'm looking for a flush. That's really what I would like to see, is some type of flush right here. We just don't know when that's going to be. We just don't know when that's going to be. $11 seconds on this 5 minute. Let's see if we close below it. Doesn't look like it's going to. But we're also in this 5 minute fair value gap right here. So we're looking at this 5 minute to find support, and this inversion fair value gap to also find support. It's also sitting around today's new day opening gap, which is right here, that blue line. These equal lows are really attractive to me. I think we run these. So we also have equal lows here. So I think on a 5 minute time frame, if we close below this level here, that 5 minute, we close on the 5 minute, I think we run these lows here. $15 did not close below, so we're waiting for the 5 minute to close. Not gonna lie, man. Gold is blowing my mind right now. The last thing I thought we were going to do is come all the way back up here. And at this point, I'm thinking to myself, it could just keep going higher. I really was just looking for it to touch this volume imbalance and then roll over, because I really wanted it to go down to this level here. I really wanted to hit this level, because that's where I'm buying more gold. But this bounce is just insane. I guess we could see price come into this fair value gap and then hit this breaker right here. That's a daily breaker, so that's my only kind of what's going to happen. Is it going to... But this whole week, this is this week's candles. Just bullish as all get out. We got 1 minute left on this inversion here. If it violates this inversion, we could consolidate here, or it could just be the sign that we're moving lower. I mean, it makes sense a little bit with us being closer to World War III than we have ever seen. Just gold becomes very very valuable. But right after Trump won, that's when we saw that big crash, because the value of the dollar when Trump won the election is expected to be strong. People see Trump as strength and view the dollar as strong when Trump's in office. So it looks as if in 13 seconds we're going to close below this. This is, I think we're running, I think the time is now. We could get a retracement, but I think we're going to run below. We're going to run for these lows here. That's what I would be looking for. Actually, that's the last 1 minute fair value gap to these lows. That's a great entry for a 1 minute right here. 1 minute close right there. We should run towards these lows. If I had another eval account, I'd be taking this trade. Very strong candle. Beautiful close. I would take profit right there. And if you're holding a runner, move your stop to break even. If you want to target this equal low right here. This is your break even point right here. So if price comes back up to this line, you would be stopped out at break even. Yep. Break even is now tagged, and you would be out of that trade. So that gave you, what did it give us? 19 handles. Oh, no, it gave us more than that. It gave us 24 handles before we would have got stopped out at break even. That's why we move our stop to break even, is once we run liquidity, we could reverse. Now, is this just a retracement? I think so. But, I mean, it's a bigger retracement than I would want to be in. You bet, Greg. ICT teaches taking the trade right here. Taking the inversion right here. I don't like that one as much. Taking it when it's already hit liquidity. Now, he wouldn't tell you to take this trade specifically because we did run liquidity. But he talks about waiting for it to come back up into it and then taking your entry and then moving short. But we just hit this order block right here. Nice rejection of that order block. I'd be looking to see if this wants to now roll over. It's 11:22, so I wouldn't be looking for any giant moves right now. I would be waiting till noon to find out what we want to do. Honestly, at noon, because we've been just inside this range this whole morning, it wouldn't surprise me if the lunch hour gives us the run on this liquidity down here. I'd be looking at lunch to run these lows. Or the PM session. I know I said that I like this 5 minute to run to those lows, and I still do. I just don't know how fast it's going to go. We are in premium. I'm assuming we're in premium because this is the high and low of yesterday's range. Equilibrium. Yeah, we're in premium right now. So all of this would be, anything short here is just so attractive. We will run these equal lows. There's no doubt in my mind. It's just a matter of when. The conversation is more about when than if. And that's me speaking about this in regards to today. I would really want to see us come into this 15-minute fair value gap. Even just institutional order flow entry drill where we just tap it and then we could move higher. But higher time frame in my perspective is sell side. Folks, we're going to call it a day here. It's a Friday. We had some education. We had a couple nice trades. We had a beautiful 930 model that took place, gave us basically $500 right off the open. Beautiful trade. But if you are, two things, use the code DTJ if you're using Apex. Get 80% off. I greatly appreciate it if you guys do. And then if you're interested in learning about the 930 model and joining our Discord and Trading Academy, you can check out dtjacademy.com. And we'll see you on the other side. So God bless you guys. Stay safe this weekend and have a wonderful rest of your day. God bless you. Bye-bye.